Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the 61st episode of the Stateside Report UK. I'm your host, Stateside Gab. Before we switched the cameras on, I was in the therapist's office. Stateside Humph was diagnosing me because my
Unexpected meeting.
Yeah, I had to. They were stressing me out. You know, they're stressing out super fans. They're stressing out normal fans, international fans. They're stressing out everybody. And I needed to get some stuff on my chest. You know, not everybody can be 15-1. You know, running away with things.
Oh, I don't want to be that guy. I think it's 1901.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm joined now by Mr. OKC, Mr. Asna.
Oh no,
Stateside Ham.
it's 20-1.
It's 20-1. How are you?
Yo, hey, as you can tell, man, I'm living good. Do you know what I mean?
I'm
Arsenal
sure
top
you
of the
are.
league, OKC top of the league as well. Do you know what I mean? Can't complain too much. The Packers won on Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to our American listeners as well.
As well, you know.
So can't complain. We beat our regional rivals, Detroit Lions. So hey,
Same with us, to be fair.
everything's in the sports sense. Everything's looking good. Can't complain.
Oh, same with us, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the mighty Jags on our
What
top.
happened to you lot?
We beat the hell out of the Titans. The Titans and Cam
Wow,
Wooden them.
the Titans are sorry, man.
Yeah, beat the snot out of them. Now we are leading the division. We're probably gonna contend for a wild card spot because the Colts are still decent. They've got some
The
quarterback
Colts,
issues with there. Daniel
the
Jones.
Colts, oh, they lost to the Texans,
Yeah, Daniel Jones. We have to see the situation of him because he was playing
right?
MVP level ball, injured now. We'll see.
25-3.
I'm
It's a
sure in you.
blowout.
I'm sure in you. I'm
The
sure in you.
Jags, the Jags win blowout games.
Who knew it
What
was
since
possible, huh?
when?
Who knew?
What?
It's not every
Fair
day game-winning drive
play,
versus the Raiders. It's
fair
not every
play,
day.
mate. Fair play.
Oh,
Wow.
matey. But
I don't
yeah,
know if you saw some of the catches last weekend in the NFL as well. Crazy.
oh mate, the Washington
Fucking the
one.
core or something like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's one from the Rams as well.
It's good
But
stuff.
yeah,
It's good eats. It's good eats these
life's
days.
life's good when your team wins. I'll tell you that now. I
Uh,
mean, it's a lot brighter. It's a lot easier to enjoy the sport when your team wins. So
well,
shout
unfortunately,
out my lot, man.
no, fortunately, we are a basketball podcast, but unfortunately, my team just don't know what that means. I'm going to go into the NBA headlines doing the rounds before I lose my rag. Anthony Davis has been linked to the Chicago Bulls ahead of this year's trade deadline. Peyton Pritchard drops 42 points to give the Celtics a 117-115 win over the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the Clippers' latest defeat mean they are 5-15. Excuse me. They've lost 13 out of 15 games in November. It's being called the worst month in the 56th year of Clipper history. Stateside, if we could just run through all of these very briefly. Anthony Davis issues. I say issues. They are kind of issues because the Mavs are just not a good team right now. If I just look at the standings, where are they in the 12th, 6 and 15? Just one
6
win
and
over the
15.
Clippers, and we know what they are. They're sold to start this season, and Anthony Davis' name keeps popping up in regards to trade speculation ahead of the trade deadline. That's obviously going to come up in March, and the Chicago Bulls is, I think it's just a bit of a tap in regards to when somebody's unhappy and their names in trade speculation. Our hometown team, let's see what they're saying. Do you know what I mean? I remember when KD was running down his deal with OKC, Washington kept popping up for some reason. Obviously LeBron is a classic example. Cleveland, what they got for you in Cleveland, LeBron? I know they got something for you over there just because that's where you're from. Naturally, I see it. Let's say, for argument's sake, the Bulls decided to pull that trigger. Stateside Humph for Anthony Davis, considering the situation where they are in regards to them, being a perpetual play-in team that are trying to make the leap into being, an established playoff team in the East. Would that be a good move for them? Would that be a good move for the Dallas Mavericks as well? I'd like to think they can get some pieces from Chicago.
I mean, it'd be a good move for the Bulls if AD stays healthy. Do you know what I mean? I'm not mad at the move because you have a Bulls team that isn't really great in the interior, especially defensively, which Anthony Davis provides a lot of value on that end. Can score the ball easily as well, will help. I'd love to see the two-man game between him and Giddy as well. Do you know what I mean? Anthony Davis can play off the ball. Like I said, his defense really was gonna move the needle for this Bulls team. You know, he's going to get him win a lot more games. Is going to have him from being a perennial play-in team to a playoff team. Again, this is all predicated on if Anthony Davis can stay on the court, which we know that's a heavy if. But in terms of him going back home, obviously that, you know, good feeling of going back home, and then, like I said, just the value and the skills that he does provide, I think will complement what the Bulls has got currently.
Fair, fair. And I'd like to think, if, like, for example, Vucevic likes to go the other way, I think that could be a nice little dynamic in,
Yeah.
Dallas, when, especially when Kyrie comes back. Cooper Flag is starting to hit some vein of form as of recently as well. Played very well in one of his most recent games, dropped, I think, 35 plus or whatever it was. A couple of rebounds, a couple of assists.
Yeah, so, yeah.
So I'd like to think, if that move does materialize, yeah, fair enough. It's all health dependent, though, isn't it? Because that's the question when it comes to Anthony Davis, and that's what it's been over his whole career. Peyton Pritchard, 42 points, Celtics victory. And my thoughts on the Celtics. We're going to talk about the Cavs because it's not looking very good in Cleveland at the minute. But in regards to what the Celtics have been this year, I think they set off my feelings on them. I just don't think they're a very good team. I think their roster is very incomplete, and I understand the injuries that are, in their team. Jason Tatum, namely, and obviously with their roster construction, like, they have no big man, they have nothing. However, they're building, I guess you could say, a decent foundation for when, Tatum eventually comes back. I like the development that, Peyton Pritchard has been, and they're giving him more responsibility, more shots, more confidence, just because they kind of need to, because somebody's going to have to take some of these shots away from Jaylen Brown and spread them around the team. And Stateside Town, for my eyes, Peyton Pritchard, for what he is, excellent three-point shooter, very aggressive when he needs to be, and generally a really good scorer. Fair play. I like the development. I like what I've seen from Peyton Pritchard to start the year.
Now, Pritchard he's had some of these big scoring nights as well. Do you know what I mean, last season, and like you mentioned, there's the foundation that the Boston Celtics want to set. Do you know what I mean? They want to make when Tatum comes back, like his integration like more seamless. You know what I mean? And I mean, they kept quite a bit of the pieces, obviously, in terms of their guard play in Pritchard and your Derek White as well. These are players that have won. These are players that play for a lot of winning sort of mentality, and I like his game a lot, Pritchard. You know what I mean, he scores the ball very well. He will contribute in helping Jaylen Brown with, like you said, with the scoring load defensively as well. He's pesky on that end. They will win a bit of games. I feel like if they get into the playoffs, currently the eighth. Let's say they face the Detroit Pistons. I don't know if the Pistons want to face the Celtics. Even with I mean it. I mean it because, bro, the Pistons haven't done anything yet. The Pistons have not done anything yet because, like I said, the Pistons remind me of the Rockets last season, whereby they win a lot of games in the regular season. It looks good, but then when it comes to the playoffs, we're starting at zero again. You know what I mean? Your record don't mean anything. You know what I mean? It's styles make fights. And if you're the Celtics with experienced players like your Pritchards, like your Derek Whites, like your Jaylen Brown, obviously you hope everyone's fit and healthy. I think they'll be looking at their lips at the prospect of maybe stealing a round, maybe two, and then checking Tatum's Achilles, seeing what's it saying.
That's interesting, but like, me, I'm very high on the Pistons. I like to think that Jalen Duran is looking at their big men situation and like, this is food. If you lot don't bring
Right,
in the center at the trade deadline, I'm eating you lot alive. This is the easiest 20 and 20 I've ever put up in my life. Cade's not
right.
going anywhere. He's top 5 in MVP, considerations at this moment in time in the season. I'd like to think, the Celtics, me personally, don't have a lot for the Pistons other than their experience. They are champions at the end of the day. A lot of their roster still intact. And I like the development of a lot of their, Jordan Walsh. He's starting games, getting opportunities. He's coming a long way. I can't remember his name, 55. Schneiderman, I can't remember his name. But decent
Yeah,
young player as well. Decent young player. And I understand that, these guys are the guys that they help building. And like we said earlier, setting the foundation so Tatum can come back and it can be a seamless, the Celtics are back kind of conversation. But if they run into a buzzsaw at the minute in the Pistons, the Raptors, one of these teams, nah, it's over. They ain't stealing nothing in my eyes.
I feel like if you're a young team that don't have enough experience in the playoffs. The last team you want to play is a team that's won in the last year or two, so they know how to do it. They know how to get there. They know how to grind out games to elongate and stretch out series, like you saw with the Nuggets against OKC last year. Because on paper, should have beaten them in 5 or 6, but because they've been there before, and obviously they have, it helps when you have the best player in the world as well. But still, I always try to go back to that Golden State Houston series last season as well. Experience helps you stay in series. Do you know what I mean? It's even also sometimes gives you the edge when you don't have enough in terms of talent on the floor. You can lean on the experience. You can see what works. You can make the other team uncomfortable. Take them to places that they haven't been before. Like I said, it looks good being top of the conference and stuff. But if you have not been in the trenches and know how to win, teams like your Boston Celtics, teams like your Golden State, and the Nuggets, they will test you. They'll test that. You know what I mean? They'll take you to that place, which I don't know if the Pistons, as good as they look right now, I don't know if they can handle that. If they face a team like Boston.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll put that to the people. I see what they're saying. You know,
Yeah.
the comment section is never wrong, as they say.
Well,
Well, we speak. Let's just say for the people that are listening and that are in tune with the Stateside socials, Klay Thompson and John Morant are not bums. Don't worry, we understand the level of players that are there.
well, I'm not saying all of that. You know what I mean?
No, we stand by our opinions. We stand by what we say. Come on now, we ain't backtracking.
I'm saying.
Nothing. So some people that do need to probably do a little bit backtracking, by the way, are the Clippers. Need to look at themselves good and hard in the mirror because it is a disaster class over there.
We love it.
Yeah, it's peak. And there's a little wrinkle that I'm going to throw you in just a moment, Stateside Humph. In regards to, we understand what the record is, 15-5. A lot of journalists, fans are calling this the worst stretch of games, the worst month that this organization has ever seen. It's that dark in Clipper Town at the moment. But forget about the Clipper Towns, forget about the Clipper fans, forget about Steve Ballmer, Kawhi Hut, forget about all that. There's real jeopardy at hand, ladies and gentlemen, because you didn't know the Clippers they have destiny. They have an NBA dynasty that is already in the works. They could make it a little bit better, just a tad, because they have a pick, very valuable pick, that if everything goes right for the Oklahoma City Thunder and they get blessed in the lottery because of the Clippers' disaster of the season, OKC could get the number 1 pick. Now, Stateside Humph. Speak for us all. Speak for the NBA fandomship as a whole. This is not something that we want to see. The Clippers and James Harden and Kawhi Leonard need to buck up their ideas so that the number 1 pick doesn't already fall into the best team in that land. Surely.
This is not what we want to see. What? This is what I want to see. You know what I mean? Bro, like I'm saying, Harden is doing everything he humanly possibly can to make this not happen. But it's like, bro, the West is unforgiving. Do you know what I mean? If you don't draft properly, if you obviously make certain mistakes like you do with the Paul George thing, all road leads back to podcast P. You know what I mean? It's like so it's like obviously Kawhi's injuries as well. It just makes it very. It's unfortunate. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know if the Clippers have dug themselves such a deep hole that they can come out of. Because once you get to a certain point, it's like we might as well just. I mean, the Clippers are in an awkward spot because you can't even go the route of we might as well just tank and try and get a good pick because that pick is not yours. And how Sam Presti is end up fluking this and got us this 2026 pick, ridiculous. That's why he's the best GM in the league. But if you're the Clippers, Kawhi's just come back, Harden is there as well. You have to make something shake. I mean, something has to happen. Because you can't drop lower and lower in the standings and then give OKC a higher chance in next year's lottery, which apparently, when you're looking at the talent coming out of college, some of the best, in next year's class. And OKC is one of the worst teams that you want having a high pick, especially with the level that we're playing at right now.
I'm seeing AJ the bad son. No, Carlos Boozer's son is really good. There's other players, obviously, that are the people that are tapped into the college scene that are proper. The draft class looks good once again, just as it has this year. Looks some will say maybe even better next year. So please, Steve Ballmer, do something. You've got bread in your pocket, pull it out and do
Facts.
something, bro. I know you just done the arena. Do something because we can't be having this. Can't be having this.
Yeah, we can. We can.
We're gonna go into our Western Conference breakdown now, and there's a few storylines and a few developments that I want to throw at the people at Stateside Humph as well. Of course, starting with the Houston Rockets, and this is it's a bit of a trend that we saw back end, especially of last year, and especially going into the playoffs as well. But if I look at the NBA standings, first of all, just to give it a bit of context, a bit of contextualization, the Rockets are 13-4. That occupies third in the Western Conference, and they play, at least in my estate setup, you can let me know if I'm wrong, but they play some of the most interesting, dare I say, caveman, prehistoric type hoops in the whole league, just because it starts and ends with offensive rebounds. That's their MO, their mantra. It doesn't matter how well they're shooting it. It doesn't matter how many shooters they have out there. Can we rebound better than you? And if I look at the numbers, they have the highest offensive rebound rate in the whole NBA, and it's quite a bit above the next place team. I believe it's the Denver Nuggets, but don't quote me. It don't matter who's second, to be fair. The Rockets are that far ahead. And Stateside up, even to top it off as well, the Rockets they have the highest, I believe it's either offensive or rebound rate percentage as a whole in regards to when they miss half the time, they're probably going to get the offensive rebound. It's the highest it's been in about 30 years of the NBA. You're going back to the 1990s to find a team that rebound as well, especially on the offensive glass, as this Rockets team. And I wanted to throw it at you just because you know some of the characters that are involved in there, the Steven Adams of the world. Clint Capella is back there causing havoc as well. It helps that they have a big guard and, the Thompson twin. KD obviously does his part. Sengun as well. How did I forget about him? Bloody
It's an awkward and big team. They got Jabari Smith as well.
Do you know? And they be playing him at the free sometimes. I'm like, this is an issue. And I just wanted to ask you in regards to what the Rockets are, putting on tape, for lack of a better word, and what they've shown you so far this season. Because obviously, by what the standards say and what by the statistics say, it's working, isn't it?
To be fair, I think it was always going to work. They just needed a bit of time. I still think you haven't seen the best of this Rockets team. Obviously, when you bring in a player like your KDs, you need some time for things to mesh. I mean, he's great enough where he can still get his own, and it'll still affect winning basketball. He's not too ball dominant where he can give the ball to Sengun, let Sengun play a little bit. The offense can run through Sengun. KD can play off the ball, catch and shoot. Coming off pin downs, all of that stuff. And I like a team that know their strengths and lean on it. Do you know what I mean? Rather than playing, like you always say, accidental basketball where it feels like everyone's playing the same brand of basketball. But when you look at the top teams in the league, everyone has this style of play. And I like that. Do you know what I mean? It gives every team an identity. It's like we mentioned a couple of podcasts back that every time I turn on the TV, or back in the day with the Memphis Grizzlies, they play a different style of basketball. OKC played a different style. Lakers, all of that. And you're now seeing that again because if you've got players that's averaging 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", you want to play big. Do you know what I mean? Because most teams, they're still kind of in the small ball kind of fashion. So it's like playing big, know that you can run up and down the court. You've got athletic freaks. You know what I mean? You can overpower and over dominate teams. And you see that in their rebounding numbers. Do you know what I mean? If you're a KD and you're Sengun, you can shoot the ball with a lot more confidence because Steven Adams is crashing the board, Sengun is crashing the boards. You can get second chance points. Second chance points are a killer if you're the position because that's how you end up losing series if the other team's just too big. That's how we lost the series against Dallas because that team was just too big. We just didn't have the size. As the girls say, size matters. Whether you whether you like it or not, size matters. And you're seeing with the Rockets, they're dominate with their size.
Don't know for this guy, bro. Don't know for him. Don't know for you, Stateside Tough. But it's the age of saying, just like he says, it does matter. And it's about what you do with it as well. I dare use
Motion in the ocean.
bro. They're
Hey,
using for lack of better word, their girth and courage to really do something deep
hey, shout out
in the
Skip,
West.
man.
Yeah, man. Oh man, but
That's exactly what it is, bro.
it's there to be said that it's there on tape. I'm thinking of, you said it perfectly. To be fair, there's still a lot of teams that, I'm sorry, you're just not equipped to face a team like that. I'm thinking of my Kings. We're a small team enough as it is. Keegan Murray, power forward. Sabonis is not the biggest of centers, and especially when he's not. He's had his injury struggles this year, so when he's not there, what Drew Eubanks. We got a rookie who's sizable, but he's a rookie, bro. What's he gonna do for Steven Adams? Did you see the dunk he had the other day, by the way?
Yeah,
Chai! And he had a
yeah.
block as well going into.
I don't think he had that in
Man,
him.
man,
I think it was last night. I don't think he had that in him.
bro.
But again, size.
It's
Do you know what I mean?
it's crazy. If Steven Adams was playing in 2005, Lord have mercy. But conversation for another day, maybe, perhaps, I don't know. The Rockets are very scary, and they're going to be a force once again to be contended with. And I think we knew that that's what it was going to be the case in regards to what it was in Houston. Bringing in KD, you have those kind of expectations. Like you said, because of how well they rebound, it frees up and gives a lot of confidence to their shooters. Fun fact, start of the day for you. Do you know who's leading the league in 3-point percentage right now? Tari Eason. It's my boy.
Really?
I was very high on him last year in regards to I like what he was as a bench piece for them, and he's still that for them this year. However, it's just like what you were saying. When you get that many offensive rebounds, second chance points, and you're kicking it out to guys like Tari Eason who have real talent and have shooting ability, that's what happens, So
Because you get more wide open shots as well because the defense is scrambled. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
When you get second chance points, it's I would just open dunks, layups, wide open threes. A lot of good stuff can come from this offensive rebounding. It's valuable, and you keep the other team to, one shot per trip as well. Then you're getting more possessions. You know what I mean?
The Los Angeles Lakers are the next team. They are 15-4 currently in the Western Conference. Just, I was going to say a few games. They're quite a few games behind Oklahoma City Thunder, but second place is second place at the end of the day.
Facts.
You'll take that.
And a 7-game winning streak as well.
Exactly. It's looking real good in Laker town. And you know what? There's not so much that I want to speak about, but I did want to bring in the fact that I saw a lot of the conversation sitting around LeBron James. Is he going to come in? Is he going to mess up the chemistry? Is he going to be doing this and that? Is he going to be doing his farewell tour? Well, 7-game winning streak kind of says a lot. The fact that they're winning games and they're towards the top of the West. I remember I was in one of your lives not that long ago, and it was we won't go into it too much, but it was in regards to a best player in the world conversation. Can Luka Doncic be in that conversation? Well, he's in that conversation, but how can he separate himself from others? And I don't remember who it was. You probably will know better than me, Stateside. But somebody said he can't because the Lakers won't even be contending for a championship this year. The team's not good enough. And I said, excuse me?
Right.
Listen, if you've got LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, you can scupper enough talent around them
100%.
to make sure that you're at least competitive in the West. If you have those three alone with the way that they've been playing this year, no matter what the talent is surrounding them, and you lot are not a top 6 seed in the West, then I'm sorry, something has gone completely wrong, because I cannot see a world where that doesn't happen. And they're second in the West right now, Stateside time. So, like I said, it's not so much of a, let's get into a full-blown Lakers conversation, but I'm just saying I heard the conversations and I've seen some of the narratives that are going around. And I just couldn't believe it, because now it's actually happening. I'm not saying I'm a Nostradamus, but I thought it would be obvious. I don't know where you stand on it.
I mean, the team is talented. Do you know what I mean? That's a talented team. You got Luka averaging 35, 8, and 9 assists, bro. And obviously having Luka coming into the season, a full season, losing a lot of weight in the off season as well. Do you know what I mean? Getting his body in good nick, because like I said in one of my lives in and around that time as well, that there is a lot of pressure on Luka. Do you know what I mean? Coming into the season, because of the level of expectation that you do get when you're playing in LA, when you're in your prime and you have a lot of point to prove as well. After the whole Nico and Dallas, debacle and stuff, like there's a lot for him to prove, and he's a player that kind of plays with a chip on his shoulder. So I was expecting a lot from Luka this season. So the performance that he's putting up and the team success doesn't really surprise me, because of, like I said, the greatness of Luka and the talent that they still have Do you know what I mean? And it's almost like a perfect situation for LeBron as well. He doesn't feel the need to rush back. You know what I mean? Doesn't feel the need to rush back to
Mm.
try and help the team because the team, to an extent, is fine without him for now anyway, which will then give him more time to rest so that you can almost manage his minutes, manage the games that he plays until obviously you get into the playoffs where you will need a LeBron, where you need his in-game IQ, which in my opinion is the best ever. Do you know what I mean? He still kept his body in good, physical condition as well. So all of this just spells good news for the Lakers as of right now. 7 game winning streak in the NBA is not easy, and Luca and the Lakers have made it look relatively easy.
You're taking everything that comes with the Lakers right now. To be fair, I've seen Luka Doncic in Dallas, carry borderline G Leaguers into the playoffs,
Right.
into conference finals, into finals. So
Mm.
I never had any doubts of his ability and his standing in regards to being one of those best player in the world type of guys. And you drop in, somebody that used to be that's not that far away from it in LeBron. What Austin Reeves has been, as I said, this year, surrounded with the role players that they have. Fair play to Aiton, fair play to Rui, who's been, really good this year. I just don't see why you can't say that they can't, compete in the West because their team is more than good enough to do something, more than good enough. Is it, in that OKC kind of bracket? Well, nobody really is, so that's a whole conversation for another day. But competing with the other teams, oh, absolutely, absolutely. Before finally, in regards to our Western Conference preview, I wanted to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves with you, stateside Humph. Sixth in the Western Conference right now, 12-8 on the current standings. It's not so much about the Timberwolves per se, and it's not even about their star player Anthony Edwards. It's about Julius Randle because
Oh
I
yeah.
think he's been quite underrated in regards to how he started the season. Obviously, Anthony Edwards has had his injury issues coming into the year, so there was a lot of pressure in regards to Julius Randle. You need to keep us afloat until Ant comes back, and then we can really start to, push and make a run in the Western Conference. In my eyes, he's done that. 24, averaging 24 points a game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists as well. We know what the play style and everything that comes with Julius Randle, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. When he's locked in, when he's bought in, there's not a
Yeah.
lot of better players than Julius Randle at the power forward position. He can carry you to a lot of wins in the regular season. He's been there and done that in this league. Why are the Minnesota Timberwolves, or why are there rumors, stateside Humph, in regards to the Minnesota Timberwolves, could be looking to shop Julius Randle for an upgrade, whether it be them getting a point guard because they have, their point guard issues. It looks like Rob Dillingham, they're not so high on him or what he could be. Whether it might be they think maybe they could get better in regards to the wings, or maybe they want to get deeper in terms of what their roster is. I don't know. But with all the numbers that Julius Randle's been putting up by keeping them, somewhat afloat in the
Mm.
Western Conference, basically doing everything that he's asked of plus more. Why do they still want to trade him potentially?
I mean, the grass ain't always greener, you know. I mean, when you've had a Julius Randle who, like you always say, he's a battering ram. I mean, that guy's aggressive, but you can see it as the years has gone by. There's a lot more control to his aggression, which makes him a much better player. I mean, helps him see the floor a little bit better in terms of his playmaking as well. I mean, that's a really good player that you have on your hands. He's actually made me eat my words a lot as well with obviously that trade with Cat as well. I didn't really believe that he'd be a great addition, a great value to the Timberwolves. You mentioned it, but I put my hands up.
I know balls
Not there's not
sometimes.
many
I know
times.
balls
There
sometimes.
is not many times where I say I'm wrong, but in this case, Julius Randle, he's done really well. He's done really well for the Timberwolves, and I just think in this situation the grass just ain't always greener. If I'm the Timberwolves, I keep Randle. I mean, he is one of the main reasons why we got to the um, conference finals last year. When you face OKC is a completely different, thing. So looked, he kind of went back to type a little bit with facing that type of defense, but still, Randall played a really, really good series, or played really good series against the Lakers and also Golden State, or being, Curry got injured. So he's definitely one of the main pieces that there's no way I'm trading away. I'm not trading that away. I know you want to get a point guard in, but Ant is going to have the ball in his hands most of the time anyway. Do you know what I mean? When in crunch time, he'll be the one making the decision. So you don't necessarily need a table setting point guard, which I don't think the league even has many of those anyway. Do you know what I mean? So if I'm the Timberwolves, I keep Randall and you just ride off on what him and Anthony Edwards can give you.
We've spoken about it in previous episodes in regards to point guard epidemics. And
Right.
this is the NBA is definitely in one where it's like it just seems like you mentioned it already in this episode already. Accidental basketball is the wave. Get somebody in the paint, kick it out to the shooters, and see what can shake. And Julius Randle kind of fits that mold. Obviously, he can score a little bit himself in isolation and all that kind of stuff. But I understand the need for a point guard. I don't mind them being aggressive in trying to get a point guard, but if it comes at the cost of Julius Randle and everything he's given you, I'm not sure, personally. Speaking of point guards, by the way, just before we get into our game, I don't know if you saw the Utah Jazz Houston Rockets game from last night. I've seen a lot of the highlights from it. Keontae George, go and look in the mirror. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
seen the highlights of that one Stateside Hub. It was
Apparently, he had a shocker.
disaster. 0 points, 8 turnovers. It was disgraceful.
He's not a bad player though.
Bro, he's not bad either. Do you know what I mean? He had a game winner not that long ago as well.
Yeah,
But,
he's not a bad player. He played well against us couple weeks ago.
bro, that one.
He had zero. Wait, what?
Bro, it was dark. It was one of them ones where it was like, yeah, the tank is in full swing. No problem. No problem.
The tank is in full swing.
Yeah,
Good
dog.
God.
It was absolutely disgraceful hoops that I was
It
seeing.
couldn't have been that bad. Ooh.
Bro, it was poor.
He done all of that in 19 minutes.
Dog, I don't know if this thing will let you look at this man's shot chart. He played 19 minutes as well.
8 turnovers.
Bro, 8 turnovers. How many assists?
Minus 27.
2 assists.
Good.
Oh, he was
Wow.
it. And like, bro, I urge you, if anybody hasn't watched some of that tape, I don't know. They investigate interiors there. I'm just saying now.
That's what I'm saying. Bro, what?
It was peak.
Wow.
Had to throw that in there just because I saw it just before we come.
Shout out Keontae, man. You know what I mean? It happens to the best of us. Certain nights you just don't have it. Coach, I just didn't have it tonight.
Yeah, you didn't have it plus some. Because that is crazy.
Bro, how can you do all of that in 19 minutes? That's more impressive than that.
Yeah, I'm sure, bro.
8 turnovers in
look
19
at some
minutes.
Of the highlights together. I'll find it for you and
Bro,
you need to see it the way I saw it.
The
It was
coach
crazy.
had to hack him out, man. Get him off the court immediately.
It was like, have you seen that movie when the KD movie when he swapped bodies with like a random little kid?
Yeah.
And then it was
Thunderstruck.
Yeah, man, it was
bro.
Horrible film, but the concept of it is very interesting.
Hey,
that's basically what happened there.
You hate to see it.
Man.
But that's history, man. That's history. Shout out Keontae, man. You know what I mean?
Stateside time. Shall we play?
Hey, let's play a game.
Let's play a game.
You say ring for ring.
Oh yeah, it's called ring for ring. You know what I mean? Ring for ring. Basically, I sent you a nice little image on Twitter because I saw a picture, and it said OKC on this side and another team, which I'll bring forward in a second on this side. And obviously OKC, the champs, budding dynasty, that some people will say. I wanted to basically throw at you some teams from modern history from the last few years, some teams from history that have won championships, that are established, teams that's like, yeah, real championship winning team. And in a imaginary 7-game series, I want you to say who would win in how many games. Can you do that for me? Can you do that for the people?
Let's do it.
And of course, there's only one place to start because we have to start where this idea came from. In 7 games, who would win? The 2025 OKC Thunder or the 2017 Golden State Warriors?
The 2025 OKC Thunder.
How many games?
I think our defense just too good, such a high level. Shea will play at an MVP level, and I think we'll beat this Golden State team in 7.
So you're giving
at their gaff.
Yeah, giving them.
Yeah, I think we'll take it. We'll take it to 7. We'll beat them now.
Yeah, fair. I'm not gonna lie.
OKC.
You see, you would say that though. You would say that. I'm gonna probably give it to that Golden State team. 6 games.
6
games. Just because, my brother, you've said it before. Stephen Curry, you don't really want to see him in the playoffs.
Absolutely not.
You know what he is. This is the pomp of Klay Thompson.
True.
You know what I mean? This is not the Clay Thompson that we're seeing nowadays, where they're trying to ship him off for a box of biscuits. This is the Clay Thompson of
Facts.
60 points and 13 dribbles.
With no Megan Thee Stallion anywhere in the vicinity.
Yeah, but do you get me?
I can't believe how he's fluked that.
Oh,
How's
boy.
he done that then?
Has he done that one? Yeah, how you flew that one? She loves it, by the
To
way.
be fair, that team was fake though.
Lukaku not that long ago now. I think it's her team, no problem. All right,
Hey,
you know.
NBA money runs deep, man. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, I'm showing you.
But
I'm showing you.
that team, that Golden State team, probably the best team ever. Do you know what I mean? I think the only way we can beat them is in 7. There's no way we're beating them any sooner than that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I obviously want to back my team, and I think if we were to get them, we'll get them in 7.
Who would win this 7-game series? The 2024 Boston Celtics or the 2019 Toronto Raptors?
I want to go to 2019 Raptors. I really love that team. I love that 2019 Raptors team. I love that team more than.
More than this one. You sure? You sure?
No, honestly, that 2019 Raptors team defensively, they're a hellacious defense.
Good.
And obviously, when you lean on Kawhi and Lowry and Siakam, Van Vliet as well, in terms of your offense, I really liked how consistent they were on that end as well. I think that 2024 Celtics team, I think the Raptors defense can kind of almost rope them into just shooting threes. Do you know what I mean? And if your three's not falling, especially facing that defense, you won't have your legs. And I don't know how effective they'd be in terms of mixing up the offensive sort of coverage to try and hurt that Raptors defense. So I've got Raptors in 6.
I'd have to agree. I think the best player in the series would be Kawhi. So there's
It would
obviously a
be.
big separating factor there, and I feel like the Raptors, everyone of course being healthy on both sides of it, they have answers for pretty much anything the Celtics are trying to want to do. Marc Gasol was there, Ibaka was there, so I'd like to think Porzingis is in a load of trouble. Even in their advanced years, I'd like to think they've got the wing defense to switch and be able to guard your Jaylen Browns and your Jason Tatums. Drew Holiday is going to be an issue for what the Raptors, whatever they try to do on the perimeter. But I just feel like they probably have a little bit too much for the Celtics. I like to think, anyway.
It'll be a very good series, though.
Yeah, 6 or 7 would be fair. I think there'll be some close games in there. We'll move on to the next one. Stateside up. This one's a classic for the old heads. Who would win in a 7-game series? The 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers or the 2010 Los Angeles Lakers?
I think LeBron beats Kobe. I think that 2016 team beats the 2010 Lakers team because I think there's more shooting, there's more offensive talent on that 2016 Cavs team, and then obviously you have the best player on the court in LeBron James as well. Kobe, I think, would win the Lakers couple games, but ultimately I think that 2016 Cavs team will beat the 2010 Lakers team in 6. Powell and Kobe would get them 2 games.
I was going to say, you don't think Powell would be a bit of an issue for them? I don't think the Cavs have anyone that can, really do anything with Powell, particularly.
I mean, they'll put Kevin Love on them.
Yeah, and that's not, fairs. Or at the same time, Pau Gasol probably has to guard somebody. I like to think that he can't just be, hiding on Tristan for the whole series because LeBron will just find him for a lot. Dump-offs, Kyrie, the same thing. Be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, they'll probably play Kevin Love as a stretch 5. Do you know what I mean? Get Powell literally chase. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I know it's 6 years apart, but the game changed so much from 2010 to 2016, where you're actually having legit stretch bigs. You mean Chris Paul? Not Chris Paul. Chris Bosh came into it, turning him into a stretch 4. Only 2-3 years ago when he obviously went to Miami, and then obviously you've got Kevin Love, shooting at a much higher rate as well. So I think that 2016 Cavs team would spell trouble for 2010 Lakers.
Yeah, it's fair, and it's like you said, if the Lakers would have a harder time adapting to what the Cavs are trying to do than what the Cavs would have to do if they have to try and adapt, to the Lakers' more style of theirs, because they could throw LeBron in the post, they can put Kevin Love in the post if they need to, they can bring in some of the other guys, even challenge for people like that. They'd spell trouble. I like to think.
That's what I'm saying. I think Kobe must have had one horrid shooting night in Game 7. I want to say, I think he went like 7 of 28 or something like that.
Yes. But
there's no way they're winning if he's not efficient.
He was doing everything else but scoring, basically, in Game 7. Ron Artest hit the dagger. I'll never forget, you know.
Sometimes I
He'd
wish they
be an
could
issue
just
for LeBron,
simulate.
maybe. I don't know, but we'll see.
Sometimes I wish they could just simulate these type of games, so I just sit and watch. But
Life.
it'll be a fun series.
Yeah, you know. Couple more for you, Stateside. A couple more. Who would win in a 7-game series? The 2023 Denver Nuggets or the 2014 San Antonio Spurs?
2014 San Antonio Spurs. That
Really?
team, yeah. Ooh, yeah. Because I'll trust Tim Duncan not to slow down Jokic a tad. It's difficult to do that. But then obviously you're putting Boris Diaw and Tim Duncan on Jokic. But I think it's the brand of basketball that the Spurs played, the shooters that they had, how deep they went into their bench. Obviously, you had the Patty Mills as well. You had your Danny Greens. I think that 2023 Nuggets team was good, but I mean, bro, they played the 23 Heat. You know what I mean? They were expected to beat them.
Yeah.
Even though the Nuggets weren't expected to win the chip that year, getting as far as they did, facing the Heat, they were expected to beat the Heat. The Heat
Yeah,
had no business being
but
there.
then that's not. You shouldn't put that against the Nuggets per se, just because the competition was weaker. They didn't get to pick their opponent, and it's similar to like what OKC are in a sense, in that they're so far ahead of everyone. It's like, well, you can't just say OKC are not a good team because they're beating up on poor competition. It's still
Mm.
teams that are making the finals now. You got to make the finals by beating other good teams as well. So
No,
I find that to
100%.
be a bit unfair, personally.
100%. I hear that point. I hear that point, but I feel like that 2014 Spurs team. Then again, I feel like they played a lot more motivated with how they lost that 2013 Ray Allen, corner three, because they were supposed to win that one as well. But I think the brand of basketball that they played, they would have carved that Nuggets team apart. I mean, they would have picked on Jokic in that sense as well,
Mm.
have him, be chasing around and stuff, and the cuts and the spacing out. I think Jokic will get him a couple games, but I think the 2023 Nuggets will lose to the 2014 Spurs in six.
Interesting, interesting. You got one more for you, matey. One more.
Yep.
Who would win this 7-game series? The 2021 Milwaukee Bucks or the 2008 Boston Celtics? It's tricky.
It is tricky, but I want to go with the '08 Celtics. I want to go with the '08 Celtics in seven, because I think Giannis will cause KG and Kendrick Perkins. It would cause KG and Kendrick Perkins and their front line a lot of problems. I don't know if Brandon Bass was there at that time as well, but
Oh, wow, I'd have
it's
to
just his
remember.
speed, strength, athleticism, length will just cause KG and them a lot of problems.
Mm.
He will get Giannis will get him 3 games. I think ultimately that '08 Celtics team with Paul Pierce, Rondo at the point.
Tony Allen
Obviously, you
was on
got
that team as
KG, so
well.
Tony Allen was in that team as well. So I think they'll end up winning this in seven. It'll be a lot closer than people initially think.
Ah, I'd slide towards the Bucks
Right.
in, for me, probably in 6-ish. It could be
Mm,
5.
really?
Could be just because
Wow.
I feel like, look, this is I said it before in regards to Clay. This is the pomp of Drew Holiday in terms of he's
True.
giving you it on both sides, and especially on defense, bruv. That's an issue for anyone that you want to put him in. If you want to put him on Paul Pierce, I know Paul Pierce likes to big up his ability now, but
Right.
if you stick Drew Holiday on him, I'm sorry to say that's a big issue for you. Rondo, if you want to even stick him on there, so Rondo can be as limited as you want him to be, that's a big issue for them. And obviously their play style in general is kind of similar to what we were saying in regards to what the Lakers are. Whether it's Kendrick Perkins, whether it's Leon Paul, whether it's whoever you want to say, they got to go out there and they got to guard Brook Lopez. There's not the Brook Lopez that was playing in Brooklyn. This is the one
It's
that's
a
splashing
stretch
out.
five as well.
Do you know what I mean? And Giannis is going to do what he has to do. They could try to build the wall strategy, and they probably have the personnel to try and do that. But I don't know. I just don't think they have enough. As mad as it is to say, I don't think they have enough defense to stop what the Bucks would want to do to them. Chris Middleton, another one. It's an issue. Who's guarding Chris Middleton? Is it Paul Pierce? Is it Ray Allen?
Facts.
Probably not. I don't know. But I'm saying 5 or 6. Me personally.
I think it goes seven outside with Boston, but we'll pose it out to the people, see what they say.
Yeah, we'll see what they say. I thought of another one which me and you can do in the future, Stateside time. For the teams that lost in the finals, maybe this will be their chance to get a ring. This will be, I can't call it no ring for no ring. That's a bit mean. But you know what I mean? Like I can imagine, for example, who was in the finals last year? The Pacers last year versus the Mavericks team that made the finals. Like who would win in that series? Probably the Mavericks, you know.
That'd be very interesting, you know.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm gonna write
That'd
that
be
down.
very interesting.
I'm gonna write that down.
I might have to chuck that into my live as well. See what them lot are saying.
I'm just letting you know.
Why didn't I think it the other way around as well?
Yeah, I'm telling you. I just thought of this now as well as we were talking. This is why, you know, two brains are better than one. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Stateside Report UK, the best place where you can get your games. Do you know what I mean?
That's what I'm trying to say. A one-stop shop for NBA news.
How about we go into our Easter Conference preview to close out the episode 61 of the Stateside Report UK. And do you know what? Stateside, I have to give you some flowers. I do.
Me?
Yeah, little old you.
No, can't be me.
I know you have a flower on your jumper that you're wearing now.
Can't be me.
Yeah, for you, I've got to give it to you.
Not.
Even though, yes, early days, you do deserve your plaudits. You were, at least between us two, you were the highest of what the Toronto Raptors have been so far to start this season.
But then there are people in the comments saying that I'm just sitting in my mum's basement just talking nonsense.
Bro, I was taking it personally.
Surely not. Surely I can't know anything about
bro, don't worry, man. All of these guys think the Brits don't know ball. They don't know what we're talking about.
We know about too,
Manchester United and all that. Stick to the Arsenal.
Teas and crumpet watching bus, man. We know a bit, man. You know what I mean?
Word. They think we really eat that jelly deals and pie and mash. As well. Do you know what? That's my pet peeve, by the way. Hold on before we talk about the Raptors. That's my pet peeve. You know what's mad? Do when you see videos of those crazy white women that can't flipping make toast, that can't fry egg? Do I say that's American food? Do I say that's American food?
No.
But when they man see stewed eels, bangers and mash, English food straight away.
Bruv,
let's be fair
now.
now.
Bunch us all together.
Bro.
Hate to see it, bruv.
When I see them man and their burgers and their wings and the fries, I'm like, yeah, them man are cooking. But they don't go to the other side. When I can't remember what stream it was. It might have been, I can't remember who it was now. They went to like a suya like stall, like in a market, and they said, oh my days, this is the best meat I've ever had. But them man Americans, they don't know, dog. They don't know.
They're not cultured enough, man. They're not cultured enough. That's the problem.
They don't open their eyes to see what's really going on.
They're entrapped in their closed environment. Go outside a bit.
These men are going to beat me up when I say it, but that country is a third world country with a Gucci belt. I heard that saying one time, and I'm like, it's facts.
It makes so much sense, bro. It makes so much sense. Because every time on my lives and stuff, people are like comments like, "Whoa, like UK people actually know ball." Like,
oh, really?
It's like, don't sound too surprised,
bro. Like,
I mean,
what the hell?
But hey,
them man are still looking for an American MVP over there, man. I ain't worried about that.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I ain't worried about them, man.
Hey. I mean,
let's go on to the Raptors aren't even in their country anyway, bro. We're going to Canada.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
No,
I like the Raptors a lot, man.
No, yeah. As I was saying, I wanted to give you your flowers because I'm going to raise my hands up in regards to early season. I was wrong. You know, I said Brandon Ingram, RJ, Scotty. It's awkward. It's not awkward though, is it? You know, I think they've had that, you know, sit down conversation, and obviously it's bleeding onto the court that there's nobody is better or is supposed to be clearer than anybody else. As long as everybody is on some sort of equal footing, everybody just plays their role, and everybody, you know, including the role players that they have as well, which is quite a lot of them, by the way. As long as everyone does their role, we're going to win games. And Stateside Humph, like I said, you was one of the people that saw the vision. I didn't see it. Fair play.
I mean, 14-7. It's not bad going. Obviously, they're on a 2-game losing streak right now, but 14-7. That's still great. Do you know what I mean? That's comfortably over 50%. The basketball that they play, like I'm saying, there's no ego. I mean, and players like Brandon Ingram. I like when a player is playing at a team where you can see the potential, but it's not coming out of his game, but you're like, you look at it like he needs to go to another team. Do you know what I mean? He needs to play in a different environment where he can get the best out of himself. And I felt with what Toronto were building with the players that they were getting in, I felt like Brandon Ingram was just always gonna complement that with what he has in terms of his skill set. Last season, I think he was battling a lot of injuries as well, so you didn't really see that. But then this year, starting off the season, coming into training camp healthy, you're now seeing the best of Brandon Ingram. Do you know what I mean? He's in a situation where what's the saying where they go? It goes like you should always go to a place that you are loved or something
Oh,
along
it's
those
like go to
lines.
a place where you're wanted, not tolerated, something
Not
along them
tolerate.
lines.
That's the one. That's the one. And it seems like him leaving the Pelicans and going to Toronto. I mean, they've even given him a whole nickname, a Notorious Bi3 and all that stuff,
Yeah,
which is
it's
pretty
hard to
cool.
hard
Do
to
you know what I
beat, by
mean?
the way. Yeah.
I mean, he's scoring game winners and stuff. They're all jumping on him like he's got his joy back. Do you know what I mean? He's got his joy. He's got his joy back. Do you know what I mean? He's got a little piece in Glorilla as well. The guy's he's enjoying himself. Do you know what I mean? So when you're enjoying yourself off the court, you play your best basketball on the court as well. So I like what the Raptors got going on, defensively as well. Very strong,
Mm.
but it's the East. Like I keep saying, there's a window, and you can see that teams want to attack that window of opportunity because the Pacers aren't where they're supposed to be, and obviously the Celtics, as we touched on them earlier, Tatum isn't there, so they're not as strong as they were last season or previous season. So why not us? Is what a lot of teams are going to be looking at saying, and the Raptors are one of them as well.
What I really like about them as well is, especially with Brandon Ingram, I think he's a godsend for them in regards to the gravity that he has just being the scorer that he is. He's one of the best in the NBA in the mid range from three, getting to the rim. He can do everything in regards to what it is on offense. So that gives a lot of freedom to, Scotty Barnes. You have to pay attention to wherever Brandon Ingram is on the court because he can get the bucket from anywhere. RJ Barrett, another one, a beneficiary for what Brandon Ingram is doing just because, like I said, that gravity, he pulls the best defender away from people like RJ, people like Scotty Barnes. Pertl is eating in the paint. They've got some rookies, they've got some young players. It's nice over there in Toronto right now. So we're going to keep tabs on what they're saying. We might even, like we've been saying it, we've been teasing it, we might have to get a Toronto representative
We need one.
one of these
We
days,
definitely
yeah,
need one.
because they need to break down what's going on, just like we did with the Pistons last year, where with Bryce. I need to know what's going on in Toronto. You know what I mean?
Facts.
We're gonna move to the bit of a damper now into regards to Cleveland Cavaliers, excuse me. We spoke about them a little bit at the top of this episode of the Stateside Report UK. It's a bit dark in regards to what is going on in Cleveland sports right now. We know what the Browns are doing to Shador. Not nice what they're doing over there. By the way, that head coach, hang your head in shame.
Facts.
But in regards to basketball, what's going on over there? They are 7th in the Eastern Conference. And Stateside Half is not so much the record in particularly, because if you put context behind it, they are, a couple wins away from the second seed, which currently occupied by
I
the New
mean,
York Knicks.
they're on a 3-game losing streak, bro.
3-game losing streak. And, I haven't watched too many of their games. However, I'm listening to a lot of what their fans are saying across, media, and what some of their beat writers are writing about the team in regards to this year's style of basketball. And you could probably attribute that a lot to a lot of their players have come into the season quite injured. Donovan Mitchell is, taking a lot of shots and he's doing his thing. Evan Mobley's taking a lot of shots, he's doing his thing. But everything else around them is falling apart. And we joked about it last week in regards to what Kendrick Perkins said. And, the men are soft in the middle, creamy, if you want to go that far. But it's not wrong, I'm looking at people like Sam Merrill. I'm looking at people like, Wade. I'm looking at others as well, where it's like, you lot ain't doing enough in regards to let the stars do what they need to do, but you need to follow them defensively, offensively. You need to help them out. And the surprising thing about them as well is that their late game execution, they've lost a couple close games now, where it's like they're blowing leads, they're not executing down the clutch. And Stateside Half, you were someone who was very high on this team coming into the season, if I'm not mistaken. You called them the best team in the East. Let me ask you like this. Are you still in that thinking, even though they're on this slump in form? And obviously, in regards to what I've said, contextualizing where they are in the season right now, can you see things turning around for them?
Well, I mean, I only called them the best team in the East, and I thought they'd be the one coming out of the East just solely because of them winning so many games last year, and me giving them the grace of the injuries coming at the wrong time in the playoffs. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, when you look at a player like Darius Garland as well, that turf toe is so uncomfortable for athletes. Do you know what I mean? They miss a lot of time through that. And obviously, if Garland has been injured and missed quite a bit last season, and then coming to the season, and then got the exact same injury again, then that spells a lot of trouble. Do you know what I mean? Because then it begs the question: was he rushed back? Can Cleveland play without him? Obviously, you brought in Alonzo Ball to try and negate, obviously, when Garland's not playing. But then Garland obviously turned out to be he's like someone that greases the wheel of that Cleveland offense. Do you know what I mean? That's what carried them to a lot of wins last year. They were good defensively, but offensively is obviously where they won a lot of their games. That was their identity. Do you know what I mean? Pace and space and quality 3-point shooting. Obviously, you had the play of Donovan Mitchell as well, but there's only so much Donovan Mitchell can do. Do you know what I mean? When you don't have Darius Garland there as well. But then if you look at on the other end, if Darius Garland was fit and healthy and Donovan Mitchell was there, is it a good enough backcourt defensively to stifle a lot of opponents? I don't think so. Obviously, you have the defensive player of the year in Mobley on the back end as well, which obviously can help alter shots, block shots. Jarrett Allen, every time it comes to playoff, his minutes reduce as well because I don't think they trust that double big lineup enough. It's just this Cleveland team. When you look at it, you look at the intangibles as well. It's kind of what Kendrick Perkins was alluding to. They don't. There's not a steeliness. There's not a grit to that team that you need, to win you a lot of games, to fend off a lot of opponents, because teams are physical. Do you know what I mean? The best teams are physical. But I don't see that in this Cavs team, and I think a lot of teams overpower them with their athleticism, with their grit, and you see this Cavs team just weltering, which that don't spell, championship caliber team or championship caliber players.
Shame as well, just because of what they were last year. They were far and away the best performing team in the East, and obviously in the playoffs, like you said, injuries kind of killed them in regards to their bid to win the championship. And I said there was a lot of pressure coming into this year for them because, if you don't essentially repeat some of what you did last year, finish as a high seed once again, people are going to be laying down the question marks. I said very early in the season, I think it might have been, in the back end of the summer, that there's trade speculation around, the likes of your Darius Garlands and your Jarrett Allens. Well, if this kind of things continue and the pressure that is on, Cleveland to try and actually make something shake, they spent a lot of draft capital trying to get Donovan Mitchell in the door. Now, there's championship aspirations over there in Cleveland. If things don't start to pick up, moves are going to be made. And it's not going to make some people happy. It's going to make a lot of people unhappy, actually. But if they're trying to win something, then, you've got to make something, happen. I like to think that hopefully the record will start to smooth out over time because they are a much better team than what they're putting on paper, on tape. But you never know. Stateside tough. And maybe a traders to think that they need to, kickstart their season to make them actually go.
Possibly.
Let's look at the last team, the New York Knicks. Stateside tough. We alluded to them a little bit earlier. They are second in the Eastern Conference right now, 3-6 at the moment in the Eastern Conference. And you know what? Good stat for you here as well. 10-1 at Madison Square Garden. It's not somewhere that is sweet anymore, which is very interesting.
Yeah, they are.
When I look at what they've been doing as of recently, OG Anunoby, someone who I'm very high on, has not been around. He's been injured. However, this has meant that you've seen the likes of Josh Hart, who we've had question marks in regards to his finger situation. He's been playing very well with the increased, workload. Mikal Bridges has shown shades of his Defensive Player of the Year from a few years ago when Phoenix made the finals as well. Jalen Brunson, they got to do what they need to do. But everybody seems like they're following in line. Everyone seems like they're playing their role. I'd like to think when OG Anunoby comes back from injury as well, they're going to be a scary, scary outfit in the East. And I think it's just time to give a bit of credit to what Mike Brown and the Knicks are trying to build. This is the team that I said, and, if the Magic keep failing me, then I'm going to have to deviate at some point. This is my next pick to make the NBA Finals, just because they have the experience in there. They obviously had, situations in regards to what's Mike Brown going to do to this offense to really get them going, really get them over the line, make them different to what Tom Thibodeau couldn't, make the team in regards to that NBA Finals caliber type team. I think it's time to give credit to what the Knicks are starting to build, and hopefully are going to continue with the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, this next team, they brought Mike Brown in almost in a situation of like a championship or bust or finals or bust, because Thibodeau took us to the conference finals last year. So we need to get a a coach in, like you said, that can help offensively because you've brought in a lot of offensive-minded players, which kind of negated what Coach Thibodeau was good at, which was the defense. So if you're bringing in Mike Brown, can you help make this offense tick? Do you know what I mean? Obviously, when you look at the last game that they played against the Raptors, an informed Raptors team, they beat him handsomely at the Knicks. Do you know what I mean? You saw a lot of balanced scoring, so then it's very difficult to pinpoint and game plan for just one person. Obviously, Bronson will always, you know, I mean, was he clutch player of the year last year or the year before?
Yes, I believe it was last year, if I'm not mistaken. Yes.
So he does have that. He does have that sort of quality, and that will always sing true in the playoffs. Do you know what I mean? So when you have a player like Bronson, when you have a player like Cat, the offensive talent that they have, so the um, deficiencies on defense, but they'll more so try and outscore a lot of teams. Obviously, you're looking at this team here; they win a lot of games without OG, who is a great two-way player. Do you know what I mean? So bringing all of that in, and I like the Knicks a lot. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, barring any sort of injuries, because the star players and Towns and Brunson, they are prone to getting these injuries here and there. But you hope closer to the playoffs they are fit and healthy, and obviously you bring in OG as well. This is a team that beat an informed Celtics team. They got 2 games out of them in Boston, down 20. So they're a dangerous team that you don't want to face. So I like the look of the Knicks right now. I mean, their fans are loud. You know what I mean? They're always loud and wrong, but that's the Knicks in it. Do you know what I mean? When the Knicks are good, the NBA is good. You know what I mean?
Yes. I agree, mate. I agree. Jalen Brunson, yes, I can confirm, clutch player of the year last year as well.
Yeah.
And he's just not going anywhere, is he? Unless he gets, of course, nicked. No pun intended. Stateside Hump. Shall I play one more game?
Let's play one more game. Let's do it.
We haven't done overreactions in a while. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
You know the drill. I'm going to throw you a few overreaction statements, and then you're going to tell me, am I bang on or am I going off the rails? Can you do that for me? Can you do that for the people?
Let's do it. Let's do
it. And the first one goes quite nicely into what we were talking about in regards to what the Cleveland Cavaliers have been this year. Donovan Mitchell is the best shooting guard in the NBA. Is this an overreaction?
Who's the shooting guard in the league right
That guy is terrible. Terrible.
I don't know these positions. Everyone's
Honestly.
bro, this positionless basketball and stuff. Can you blame me?
Let's say, argument's sake, his next closest competition is Anthony Edwards, who's been playing well recently.
I thought of Anthony Edwards. I'm not putting Mitchell over Anthony Edwards because I think Anthony Edwards just plays at a much higher level, and his he wins more with his team. Do you know what I mean? I trust an Anthony Edwards led team more than I would a Donovan Mitchell team. So I'd say it's a slight overreaction. Yeah.
If the most improved player was voted today, the winner would be Jalen Johnson. Is this an overreaction?
It's not. It's not an overreaction because I think he'll be in contention for it because the jump that he's had from last season to the season ridiculous. Do you know what I mean? And you're seeing his full offensive arsenal. Shout out the Gunners. You see points, rebounds, assists. Some of these ridiculous games where he's not just giving you points. He's not just giving you assists. He's giving you the whole package. Pause. Stay with me.
Sorry, man. Hey, man. The way
You're seeing this. I want that. You're seeing his array of skills. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, to be fair, I like the jump that he's taken. I mean, obviously with Trae Young out as well, he's leading the team. He's leading the team really well, and they're still generating a lot of wins. So, yeah, he would definitely have my vote for most improved player of the year.
The Kings trade Zach LaVine and end up making the play-in this season. Is this an overreaction?
I mean, it's not an overreaction because you're not really losing much with Zach LaVine. I know the points that he gives you, but it's not really giving you much in terms of winning basketball. So I think you can lose Zach LaVine and you can get better. So I won't say it's an overreaction, no.
The only thing I will say in regards to it is I do think it's an overreaction just because if Zach LaVine leaves, that means probably a load of other players are probably out the door. And if that's the case, playing ain't happening.
You're saying it's a domino effect?
Yeah, dog. Yeah. I don't know if it'll be the first domino or the last, but
right.
Domino effect nonetheless, I feel like.
It's all tied together.
Yeah.
Because I was seeing in the sense of if he leaves who else do you bring in? But if you're saying if he leaves, everyone else is leaving, then yeah, we're scrapping that then.
Couple more for you, matey. Couple more.
Yeah.
The Indiana Pacers trade for Anthony Davis and make the playoffs this season.
No. I think they've lost too many games. I think they've dug themselves too deep of a hole. And they're a team where it's a little bit weird because you get to the NBA Finals last year, you get to a game seven, and the chance of winning, but then you come into the season, obviously, unfortunate injury to Halliburton. And Siakam, maybe, as everyone's now seen, is not the Pacers' best player. He might be the best scorer, but he's just not their best player. And now you see it with, obviously, their record as well. I don't think and Anthony Davis right now moves the needle that much to have him win a lot of games and make the playoffs. Not this season. No,
Do you
I
not
think
think
they'll
there's
still
a
need
nice?
Tyrese.
You know, there's a nice
What?
contingency plan though. So when Tyrese does come back, they've made the trade for Anthony Davis. Hopefully, they've kept a lot of pieces there as well. They can still do something when he
I
comes back.
mean, getting to the playoffs this season. I mean, that's kind of really what I was answering. That I feel like it's an overreaction. But if you're
Okay.
bringing in Anthony Davis and you want to set like a good foundation for when Tyrese comes in, he knows what he has. How can we elevate that with Tyrese's play? Then sure, I hear it. But make the playoffs this season. I think that'll be a bit too much, especially with AD as well. You'd hope that he stays fit for the rest of the season. That's also too much.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Last one, I believe, matey. Yes, the Los Angeles Lakers finish this season the number one seed.
Impossible. 2 words. Bloody impossible. It's not happening. It's not happening. I think OKC wins at such a rate that I don't know if the Lakers can keep up.
Mm.
I mean, I don't know if the Lakers can keep up because there's certain games where we just have to lose, but we don't because we're just too good. I mean, Shea is now playing some of these. Bro, Shea's leading the league in clutch points, and he's missed 10 fourth quarters,
Yeah, it's fake.
and he's leading the league in clutch points by a lot as well. So it's like they're just certain games like I remember the Lakers went to Atlanta. They didn't have Trae Young and they didn't have other pieces as well, and they just played. They played up to the competition. They just lost. They got embarrassed, and then I think they went to another team. I want to say Charlotte, and they lost there as well.
Mm.
It just t- games like that. OKC just will not lose. You know what I mean?
Mm.
The Lakers are going to win a lot of games. I think 50 plus they will, but number one seed in the West, no way. I'll be surprised if they do.
Yeah, fair enough. I was going to say this is the last one, but we were speaking off camera, and you said you have maybe an overreaction statement question. I don't know. You tell me.
So I was thinking about what OKC's doing now and the rate that we're winning a lot of these games. Obviously, we got the championship last year as well, so it almost I want to say legitimizes the wins that we're having in the regular season, and it looks like we've even gotten better from last season. And last season we played at a historic level. And I'm just saying, if things goes as planned and OKC wins another one and is on course to three-peat for the first time since early 2000s, do you think do you think dynasties are good for the sport, or do you think we it's better to have new winners every year, yes, and stuff like that? Do you think dynasty is good for the NBA, or do you think it's better to have new winners every year?
Oh, if I had to if I had to lay my cap on one side, I think it would have to be. I think it would have to be that dynasties are good for the league, just
Mm.
because look. Well, what have we said in past episodes? And that's been told to us by I think it was Bryce, if I'm not mistaken. NBA has serious marketing issues in regards to they don't know how to market their marquee teams, players effectively. Where it's like, cool, these are the narratives and these are the storylines that we're going to run through the whole season, and it keeps fans talking, engaged throughout the regular season plus the postseason as well. The easiest way to do that is if you have a dynasty like the Lakers with Shaq and Kobe. Even though people were probably ready to see it finish because they didn't like the dominance, it was always a conversation of who's going to be the ones to defraud the Lakers, who's going to be the one to make sure them man don't do anything for the foreseeable. When Miami and LeBron were in tandem, and LeBron was going to the finals pretty much every year, it was always I don't know who's going to be stopping LeBron this year. Is it going to be this OKC team? Is it going to be this Spurs team? I don't know. Golden State, same thing. You might not like what Kevin Durant done, but it brought a lot of fans' eyes to the product, and it brought a lot of memories that people still remember. Those battles with Cleveland, yeah, they were close, but there was always a little bit of an inkling of couple things happen here and there. If JR remembers he has a brain, then
And even
things are a little bit
Houston.
different.
Remember Houston? Remember Harden,
Same
Chris Paul?
thing.
They were doing everything. They
Yes.
built their team to try and beat that
Yes,
Golden State team.
exactly. And you remember that very, very fondly as well. So, it's nice, I guess, to have, different teams win it, because then you get to see the development of different people and people staking their claims in terms of, I'm putting my name in NBA history. Yeah, that's nice and all that kind of stuff. But, you want to remember eras and specific times in the NBA for who were the teams that were really, really dominating. It seems like for the rest of the 2020s, probably that's going to be OKC, and we're
Let's
going to be
hope so.
remembering the people like Shea, J Dub, Chet. If they get this number one pick from what it looks like as well, whoever's going to be joining them next, the coach, the GM, you're going to be remembering OKC in its entirety, because they've built and are starting to build the foundations of what a dynasty, looks like, whatever you want to call it. Just as Miami did, just as Golden State did, just as the Lakers did. I'd like to think that's going to be good for the NBA, surely.
Do you think when dynasties are built and stuff, do you think it makes other teams better? Because as we are just saying there, teams purposely build to try and beat who's at the top, and who's at the top that's dominating for a long period of time, because other teams are thinking we can't let this happen for another year. Do you know what I mean?
Mm. I do think that it means that the top of the East and the West are going to be very good in regards to,
Right.
we understand what our target is. We have to go different OKC, so we're going to build our roster to go head to head with OKC and give us the best opportunity. But then it means that the bottom half of the West and the East are going to be horrible, because then it's like those teams are going to be seeing clear windows where it's like, well, we just can't compete with these other teams, can we? We just have to tank and hope for the best, in the next few years. Whereas when you have more teams that are, an option to win the championship in that case, that's when you're going to be getting everybody shot. Everybody's going to be a little bit more aggressive in free agency. Everyone's going to be a little bit more aggressive in the trade deadline as well, because they're going to be, seeing themselves as, oh, if that team can be the third seed, why can't we go to the playoffs and beat them? You know what I mean? We're in a situation now where it's like top of the West. When you look at the teams up there, your Lakers, your Houstons, obviously your OKCs, the Knicks, I was going to say the Cavs, not the Cavs, but the Pistons and these other teams as well. Yes, they're tooling up very nicely because they understand what the mission is. Go get OKC and give them your best. But
Right.
then, like I said, the teams at the bottom, they're just going to stop trying for real. And if,
Right.
if what I said with Keontae George holds any sort of weight, this tank season for a lot of teams down there in the
Right.
West. Somebody told me in our comment section in one of the videos, oh, there ain't that many bad teams in the West. Are you sure? Are you sure? There's a lot of stinky teams down there. And I
Hundred
bet you
percent.
know, because they know they have no chance in regards to competing with that top brass. So that's just what, dynasties do. It just means the top is good and the bottom is bad.
We definitely want to hear, obviously, what everyone else says about it. But yeah, no, I agree with what you're
I
saying.
was gonna say, do you kind of stand with what I'm talking about?
I do, because I'm a sucker for a storyline. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it helps when my team is the team in question in terms of the whole dynasty thing. So, and like I said, it's always a knock-on effect in terms of how teams want to build a team to get to a certain level to try and knock off the top team off their perch. Do you know what I mean? It benefits them in that sort of way. It has them playing a greater brand of either basketball, football, whatever sport it is. Do you know what I mean? Because main aim is, like you said, we want to knock these lot off the perch. We want to beat OKC. You know what I mean? So let's build a team, as you saw with the Nuggets. You know what I mean? They're now building a better team in and around Jokic to make it, first of all, make it easier for him in the regular season. So that when it comes to the playoff time, he's got all these tools in and around him, and he hasn't exerted too much energy in the regular season. Where, once it comes to the playoffs, OKC is going to give you your best, or their best. So then, can a Jokic and the Nuggets, can they put up a fight to beat OKC? Can Luca and LeBron and Austin Reeves and the Lakers, can they put up a fight? Houston, as we were talking about at the top of the show as well, you've got KD, you've got Shangun, you've got the size of Houston. Can we try and use our size to, knock them off and knock OKC off their perch as well. But there's a lot of these questions that, unfortunately, answer the question is hell no. It's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? But it's fun to watch, and I like the level that everyone's playing at. Obviously, hopefully,
Yes.
as an OKC fan, you want to build this dynasty, and like I said, I like the storyline. It always makes for a good storyline. Eventually, at certain points in the NBA, there will be a dynasty, whether certain people like it or not. You know what I mean? I get why certain people would hate it because it almost looks like there's little to no jeopardy every time you watch that team play. And when it comes to the playoff rounds, this is a 4 or 5 game series. And yeah, so I see it, but I love a dynasty. You know what I mean?
Mm. And I just
I
want to
do.
preface my points as well, by the way. In basketball, yes, I like to think dynasties are good. Other sports where they're a little bit, bigger in regards to the Premier League, in regards to the NFL as well, I do like a little bit more parity. I won't lie. I do
Mhm.
like a little bit of jeopardy of, if you win the Super Bowl this year and you don't really do a lot to, retool, going into the new season. If you're in the Premier League and you win the Premier League, but then you have a rough summer where you make a lot of moves that don't make sense, even if you spend a lot of money, you're in trouble. And I appreciate that because there's a little bit more jeopardy and games mean a lot more. Every game will mean a lot more, as the season goes on. And naturally, because there's not 82 of them things, there's less. Games will mean a lot more
Exactly.
anyway. So in NBA sense, yes, dynasty, I like it. But in other sports like your footballs and your American footballs, I'm cool on the dynasty. I don't need to see it.
It all makes for a good story. Do you know what I mean? It all makes for a good story. I think every era needs a dynasty. Do you know what I mean? If OKC can be this one, so be it. Do you know what I mean?
Fairs, yeah, fair enough. I can't knock it if you think you like to see dynasties or you don't. I can't knock it. We'll see what the people are saying.
Exactly.
I might pop my head into the live. Where could the people find your lives, by the way, if you do decide to switch on the TikTok?
Yeah, I just go on Humps Official on TikTok. Do you know what I mean? I'll be there. I'll be on there either tomorrow or day after because us not playing, but probably after the pod tomorrow. I'll
Oh,
jump on there quickly, see what it's saying.
very good of you to tease what's coming up tomorrow. You would like to stay tuned. We have a special guest joining us. I will not spoil who it is. I'm
Of
lucky for you,
course, of
Stateside
course.
Humph. They are a Chelsea fan, funny enough.
I saw that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very
Liberties.
interesting. We are a basketball podcast, so we'll do our best to stick to
Yeah,
basketball matters, but who knows when it comes to these London lot,
yeah,
Who knows? Who knows?
man. What
Ah,
coming from a peck of bread?
ah. But for now,
United, United, United.
yeah, United. Yeah, they'll ask Palace to
As
pick
if
up
you know
their
went to
shoes.
Palace and got 3 points.
Tell
Good
them to wipe
God.
their knees and keep it going, man. Keep moving. Keep it pushing. Thank you for
Great
listening
app.
to Yeah, all right. Thank you for listening to the latest edition of the Stateside Report UK. Please like, share, comment, rate, subscribe, all that jazzy stuff. Me and Stateside Humph back again next week.
Same time next week.
Until then, take it easy, lads.
A bit.